At 050 a.m., both sides launch simultaneously. 20 cruise missiles from each side streak toward enemy command bunkers. Flight time, 11 minutes. Target distance, 240 miles. Speed, Mach 0.85. The race begins. Combat power breaks down what happens when both militaries attempt decapitation strikes at the same moment. Neither side knows the other has launched. Intelligence failures on both ends. Satellite coverage gaps. Radio silence protocols. Each command center believes they have the advantage of surprise. They are both wrong. The missiles climb to cruise altitude, 35,000 feet. Terrain following radar activates. Navigation systems lock coordinates. Each missile carries a 2,000-pound penetrator warhead, designed to crack reinforced concrete, to burrow deep before detonation. Command bunkers are buried 300 feet underground. Standard protection against conventional strikes. These aren't standard strikes. At 05:01 a.m., radar operators on both sides detect the incoming threat. 20 missiles inbound. The realization is immediate. This is a decapitation attempt. The enemy wants to destroy command and control. Without leadership, armies become mobs. Without coordination, tactics collapse. Without communication, units fight isolated and die alone. The stakes are absolute. Both command centers have identical defensive systems. 8 interceptor batteries, 12 missiles per battery, 96 total interceptors available. Against 20 targets, defense should be simple. But complexity emerges. The missiles are designed for exactly this mission. Low radar cross-section, electronic countermeasures, decoy transmitters. Each missile appears as 3 targets on radar screens. 20 missiles generate 60 radar contacts. Defenders must identify real threats from ghosts. Time available, 10 minutes. Both sides scramble. Combat power examines parallel desperation. Eastern Command sits beneath a mountain. Western Command occupies a coastal bunker complex. Both house 200 personnel. Generals, colonels, communications staff, intelligence analysts. The entire command structure concentrated in one location. Military doctrine requires this. Centralized command enables coordinated response. It also creates a single point of failure. The doctrine assumes command centers are survivable. That assumption is being tested. At 05:03 a.m., Eastern Command begins defensive fire. Interceptors launch in waves. Radar tries to distinguish real missiles from decoys. The system locks onto 12 targets. 12 interceptors fire. Confidence level, 68%. Not good enough. The missiles are now 8 minutes out. Western Command faces identical problems. Their radar shows 60 contacts. The system calculates probability, assigns threat assessment, determines firing priority. 8 targets marked as high probability real missiles. 8 interceptors launch. 7 minutes to impact. Which force breaks first? A. Eastern Command bunker. B. Western Command bunker. C. Both survive. At 05:04 a.m., the first intercepts occur. Eastern Defense destroys 7 missiles. 5 interceptors miss or engage decoys. 13 real missiles remain inbound. Western Defense destroys 6 missiles. 2 interceptors hit decoys. 14 real missiles continue. Both sides reload. The interceptor batteries cycle new missiles into position. Reload time, 90 seconds. The remaining missiles are now 5 minutes out. Both command centers calculate survival probability. Eastern Command, 13 missiles inbound, defense degraded by 7 interceptors expended. Reload in progress, estimated impacts before second intercept wave can engage fully. Western Command, 14 missiles inbound, similar defensive posture, slightly worse position due to 1 additional threat. The math is grim. At 05:06 a.m., both commanders face the same decision. Stay and coordinate defense or evacuate and lose command capability. Evacuation takes 4 minutes minimum. The missiles arrive in 4 minutes. Timing is impossible, but there's an alternative. Secondary command posts exist, 50 miles from each primary bunker. Smaller, less protected, but operational. Command can transfer. The communication links are redundant. Leadership can relocate and maintain control, if they survive the next 4 minutes. Eastern Commander makes the call. Begin evacuation. Transfer authority to Secondary Command Post Echo. The bunker erupts in controlled chaos. Personnel grab essential equipment, hard drives, code books, satellite phones. They move toward emergency tunnels, escape passages leading 2 miles from the main bunker. Exit points are camouflaged. The enemy doesn't know their locations. Probably. Western Commander makes a different choice. Stay and coordinate defense. Trust the interceptors. Maintain command presence. He orders all personnel to the deepest levels, 350 feet down, beyond the bunkers, into natural cave systems. The mountain will absorb the blast. Probably. What happens next changes everything. At 05:07 a.m., the second interceptor wave launches. Eastern Command fires 24 missiles. Automated systems control the launch. Human operators are evacuating. The missiles engage remaining threats. Success rate improves with more interceptors per target. 8 more enemy missiles destroyed. 5 remain. Western Command fires 30 missiles. Maximum commitment. Every available launcher. The commander watches from the operations center. His staff surrounds him. Screens show intercept solutions. 11 enemy missiles destroyed. 3 remain. At 05:09 a.m., both attacks enter terminal phase. The missiles drop to 500 feet. Speed increases to Mach 1.2. Time to impact, 90 seconds. Eastern Command is evacuating. 60 personnel have reached the escape tunnels. 140 remain in the bunker. They won't make it. The tunnels can't accommodate everyone in 90 seconds. The rear guard accepts their fate. They keep systems running, maintain communications, transfer final data to Secondary Command. Western Command goes silent. The commander orders communication blackout. Preserve operational security. If they die, the enemy won't know immediately. The uncertainty might delay enemy operations. Every minute of confusion helps. At 05:10 a.m., Eastern Command takes 5 impacts. The missiles arrive in sequence. Each penetrates before detonation. The first missile breaches the main entrance. Explosion collapses access tunnels. 60 personnel in escape passages are trapped. Not dead, trapped. The second missile hits the communications array. Satellite uplinks destroyed. Radio towers collapse. Eastern Command goes dark. The third missile strikes the operations center. 300 feet of rock doesn't stop it. The warhead detonates in the primary command room. 140 personnel die instantly. The fourth and fifth missiles hit redundant power systems and life support. The bunker loses all function. Secondary Command. Echo receives no final transmission. They detect the explosions via seismic sensors. Eastern Command is gone. At 05:10 a.m. and 30 seconds, Western Command takes 3 impacts. The first missile hits the ventilation system. Massive overpressure wave travels through air shafts. Personnel in upper levels die from blast effects. 43 casualties. The second missile penetrates to the command level. Detonates at 320 feet depth. The explosion is contained by rock strata. The cave system channels blast energy laterally. Structural damage is severe, but not catastrophic. 80 personnel wounded, 12 killed. The third missile hits a decoy bunker. The enemy included false coordinates in their intelligence. 1 missile wasted on empty concrete. The commander survives. So does his staff. Communications are damaged, but functional. Western Command remains operational. Degraded, damaged, but alive. Combat Power analyzes the outcome. Eastern Command is destroyed. Leadership dead. Communications severed. Secondary Command, Echo assumes control but lacks situational awareness. The transition takes 40 minutes. 40 minutes where Eastern forces receive no orders. Units operate on last known directives. Initiative collapses. Western Command survives. Leadership intact. Communications reduced but present. They maintain coordination. Unit commanders receive updated orders. Operations continue. The Decapitation strike achieved partial success. One command structure fell. One endured. The war continues, but the balance has shifted. At 05:45 a.m., Secondary Command Echo establishes communication with Eastern forces. The generals are dead. Colonels are dead. The command staff is dead. Echo is staffed by majors and captains. Junior officers assume responsibility for an entire theater of war. They have training. They have doctrine. They lack experience. They lack authority. Unit commanders question orders. Chain of command is unclear. Coordination degrades. Western Command exploits the chaos. At 06:00 a.m., they launch a major offensive. Armored columns advance. Airstrikes hit supply lines. Artillery barrages suppress defensive positions. Eastern forces respond slowly. Without clear command, units act independently. Some retreat, some hold, some counterattack. No overall strategy emerges. The offensive gains ground. Western forces advance 12 miles in 3 hours. Eastern resistance is fierce but uncoordinated. Individual units fight well. The overall defense collapses. Necessary defense or catastrophic overreach? Was the Decapitation strike justified, or did it merely escalate violence without strategic gain? At 09:00 a.m., Secondary Command Echo stabilizes. Junior officers learn fast. Doctrine provides framework. They issue coordinated orders. Pull back to secondary defensive lines. Consolidate forces. Establish new communication protocols. The retreat is orderly. Eastern forces dig in 15 miles behind original positions. They hold. The Western offensive stalls. But the damage is done. Territory lost, casualties high, morale shaken, all because command was disrupted for 4 hours. Combat power examines the tactical lesson. Decapitation strikes work if they succeed completely. Partial success creates temporary chaos. Complete success creates strategic advantage. Eastern Command failed because personnel remained in the bunker. Western Command survived because they went deeper and had luck with one missile hitting a decoy. The difference was 40 seconds of decision time and 3,000 feet of mountain rock. How many interceptors can one destroyer launch simultaneously? A. 24. B. 96. C. Over 200. The answer is B. 96. Both bunkers had this capacity. Both used it. Eastern Command destroyed 15 of 20 missiles. 75% success rate. 5 got through. 5 was enough. At 11 a.m., Western Command assesses the strategic situation. Their bunker is damaged. Repairs will take 6 weeks, but they remain operational. Eastern Command is gone. Enemy coordination is impaired. The window for exploitation is open. They order continued offensive operations. Push the advantage. Seize territory, while the enemy is disorganized. At 11:30 a.m., Eastern Secondary Command makes a decision. They cannot match Western coordination while operating from a junior facility. They cannot compete conventionally. So, they escalate. Tactical nuclear weapons are authorized. If combat power decides wars, type combat power. The Decapitation strike succeeded too well. Western Command eliminated enemy leadership. Eastern forces, now commanded by junior officers without direct communication to political authority, interpret the attack as existential threat. Doctrine for such scenarios is clear. Escalate to preserve the force. At 12:00 p.m., tactical nuclear authorization is transmitted. The war enters a new phase. Western Command detects the preparations. Missile fueling. Launch vehicle deployment. They face the same choice they forced on their enemy. Escalate or capitulate. They choose escalation. Their own tactical weapons activate. Within 2 hours, both sides have battlefield nuclear weapons ready. The conventional war that started at 05 a.m. has become something worse. All because 2 command centers tried to destroy each other at the same moment. Combat power breaks down the cascade. Simultaneous decapitation strikes created mutual vulnerability. Partial success on one side created imbalance. Imbalance created exploitation opportunity. Exploitation created desperation. Desperation created escalation. The original mission was tactical. Destroy enemy command. Degrade coordination. Gain advantage. The outcome is strategic catastrophe. Nuclear exchange is imminent. The generals who ordered the strikes are dead. The junior officers who inherited the war lack authority to de-escalate. Political leadership cannot communicate with military forces effectively. The situation spirals. At 14:02 p.m., international mediators intervene. Emergency channels open. Backdoor communications activate. Both sides are offered ceasefire terms. Stand down tactical nuclear weapons. Freeze current positions. Begin negotiations. Western Command accepts. They achieved their objectives. Territory gained. Enemy command destroyed. No need for further escalation. Eastern Secondary Command requests 30 minutes. They consult surviving political leadership via improvised channels. The discussion is brief. Accepting ceasefire from a position of weakness sets precedent. Refusing ceasefire means nuclear war. They accept. At 14:35 p.m., both sides stand down. The war freezes. Tactical nuclear weapons are deactivated. Conventional forces hold positions. The crisis passes. Combat power examines what the engagement reveals. Decapitation strikes are high risk. Success must be absolute. Partial success creates instability. The 40-second difference in missile arrival times determined which command structure survived. That survival determined who maintained coordination. Coordination determined who won the conventional phase. Winning created escalation pressure. Escalation almost triggered nuclear war. What would you order next? Would you attempt decapitation, knowing the risks? Would you disperse command to prevent single-point failure? Would you escalate if your leadership was destroyed? The answers determine whether wars stay conventional or spiral into something worse. Combat power breaks down decisions that reshape conflicts. The race to destroy enemy command centers ended with one victor. That victory almost cost everything. When both sides launch simultaneously, 40 seconds determines survival. Raw force decides survival. No mercy. No pause. Combat power. Subscribe to Combat Power, where split-second timing meets strategic consequence and military analysis examines the edge of catastrophe.